Amreen, why don't you first introduce yourself? Who are you and what are you doing here?
For sure. I am a blockchain enthusiast, that's why I'm here.
Okay.
But professionally, I work at Scotiabank. I lead the digital product teams for payments and loyalty. As part of that, I also have a small blockchain practice. We're exploring some internal use cases for blockchain, plus involved in consultation with Bank of Canada on CBDCs.
Okay, well, you partially answered my next question, but the main question I have to ask you is, as I said, what are you doing here in the sense, TradFi isn't necessarily seen as, necessarily very collaborative with the crypto industry. So what brings you here, and maybe prove me wrong?
So one, I think I'm here primarily because of my belief that blockchain as a technology can solve for a lot of inefficiencies in payments. Large part of my career has been in payments, so I understand it quite inside out. So I do feel that blockchain might be the answer for even like Canada, where in certain areas like real-time payments and open banking that we are lagging with the rest of the globe, it might help us to leapfrog that. So it's really my love for the technology and its potential in the payment space, my hope and work to do something good for the industry, and in that process for Canada as well, especially in the payment space. I really want to see us as leaders. So that's sort of my motivation to be here today.
You mentioned open banking. Of course, there was a letter sent by many industry leaders just a few weeks ago.
Yes.
What is the stance of the banking sector on open banking today?
Very, very collaborative in the sense that not just very collaborative, very ready to, like, we are literally now waiting for, the government to roll it out. We've extensively worked internally and with other banks and third parties to figure out when open banking comes into play, how can we expose our data, the regulations, controls, liability, data protection around it. So I think all the hard work has actually been done. So we're pretty ready if it, and waiting for it to happen. We are very much, we want to be part of the journey of making finance more competitive in Canada, better customer experiences, and enable that through third parties or within our ecosystem as well. So I'll say ready to collaborate, ready to make payments and banking more easy for Canadians.
That'll be great news to a lot of our viewers. And finally, you're on the Access to Banking Committee of the Canadian Blockchain Consortium. When will banks actually finance, or bank, let's say, the crypto industry? You're smiling.
That's a golden question, I know, because that's been the theme, and rightly so for the discussion. Honestly, I do feel it's a little bit away. It's not happening anytime in the near future. Few factors playing into it. One, it's not specific to blockchain in the sense that a lot of the blockchain companies happen to be in money movement or security investment space, and those are heavily regulated. So banking companies in that space means that the banks is owning the liability that these companies are actually compliant to those regulations, and we don't have the bench power or expertise to actually vet each and every company through that rigor. So I think it's a huge onerous task for unfortunately not very big industry at this point in time. So I think either the industry size grows significantly to make that investment from the bank make sense from their perspective, either that happens anytime soon, or two, I'll say, through awareness and education over time, if we can find areas which may not be in sort of the money movement or heavily regulated parts of the of banking, but maybe some back-end services of operations, data centers, then that is a space through education I think banks can potentially open up to. So I think that might be an easy, quick win in the short term. While in the longer term, I think it's a whole aspect of the industry needs to grow to a meaningful size. Having said that, I think there are banks. I'm hearing from Dean from Wonderfy actually. So I think there's ATB Financial, People's Trust who are entering this space. Maybe not the big banks yet, but I think there are some financial institutions definitely entering the space. So I think there is some support for sure.
Great news. Thank you very much.